for anyone associated with this club. We ask that you show them that what matters the most is the service that we provide to this community. We ask that you would bless this food, and at this moment, I would like to take a moment of silence for the passing of two of our lions, Shirley Wixon and George Schwartz. Thank you, O Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Jane, the flag salute. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John. The land of liberty, of the I.C., the land where my fathers died, land of my pilgrim pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
John, you're fired.
He was almost better than me.
Bob, getting guest.
President Dalgleish, fellow Lions and guests, Cindy Sessions brought us Brenda Kobayashi. Brenda, would you like to stand up, please? That's it.
Margie. Wait a minute, we can't hear you.
President Lloyd, fellow members and guests. Hal just mentioned Shirley Wixon and George Schwartz, and I have cards for them over at the table. And I talked to Steve Johnston this morning, and he said he's doing a little better. He's on real food now, and he's still asking for our prayers, and he's anxious to get back and see everybody again. And I had a card for Jim Arney. He's here today, so hi, Jim.
So we save his staff.
Hey, really? Is that it? Okay.
That's it.
Where'd Pat go?
That Creek has passed the torch, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go. You got that.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, we have in need of happy dollars and sad dollars. So dig deep, let's fill the pot. Oh, here we go. Lion Duane.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, I had a wonderful visitation along with Steve and Marilyn Patterson up to Tacoma downtown Lyon. They had their 101st anniversary celebration, and it was wonderful. You meet interesting people when you go on these visitations. It's always a lot of fun, so I encourage the rest of you to get busy and start going on some of those visitations. Anyway, we have our 100-year celebration coming up next year. And the downtowners, Tacoma, they have some really nice booklets made up. And I'd like to pass them around. And maybe Mark and Greg and whoever's involved in next year's celebration. I'll take a look at these booklets and get some ideas on what we could produce for here. It was great. My mentor also, one of the wonderful people I met was Ed Burrow, who was a real inspiration to me. I donate blood once in a while, like maybe 4 times a year. And it's a cost-free thing to do to help serve the community. And Ed Burrow started doing this over 50 years ago. up there in Tacoma. And he's donated over 23 gallons, so that was quite impressive to me. So he really served his community.
I don't think there's 23 gallons of blood in this whole
That's the thing that Duane brought up.
meeting.
I give you that.
All right, moving right along. Tommy boy, I know you got good news. How about a happy buck for all that meat you put in the freezer?
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, yeah, as you know, I've been gone. I was in northern Minnesota deer hunting. We did really good. And I brought my wife back some, what was it? Backstrap, that's what it was.
Right on.
So, and when you get to the airport with a package of backstrap in your backpack, guess what? They wanted to take it, open the package up all the way down to the meat to verify it. They did that with my brother, they didn't do it with me. So, and I'm back.
Yay!
So it's good to have you back. My goodness, Allison.
Well, part of the happy bug is I actually had cash on me today. Normally, it's just credit. Oh, I'm so sorry. President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, it's doing so good for a minute. So I have cash, and also I'm very happy to, I get to go back to Montana this year to go visit my family for Christmas. So we're taking the train, so they didn't want to pay $2,000 to fly. So we're doing the train, but that'll be really cool for a couple days. Northeastern Montana. So we're about 2 hours south of Canada, where I go. Okay. Is that? All right.
Pretty good.
Do you need more time? The love of my life, Marilyn? What's going on?
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, I don't know, Steve left money here, so I'd say a happy dollar is that yesterday I served on a jury, I was chosen, and it was just a one-day thing, so that was good. I was free to come today, and I might have to turn myself in or show up next week still, but it's fun. And I don't know, this happy buck is, we had a great time in Tacoma seeing fellow Lions and familiar faces. It was just a small little celebration, but we enjoyed it a lot.
Get your septic tank in?
Ask District Governor Mark.
What? Wait a minute.
Sounds like Harold Dogs in here. President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, there's $5. First, very happy to be back after missing several weeks due to medical appointments. Not my appointments, I'm the chauffeur, but it does take me away. Looking forward to a large family Thanksgiving, even though it's going to be on Saturday instead of actually on Thanksgiving, but it's the first large Blair family, Ellen's side of the family, so we'll have about 40, 45 people at a thing, so that's going to look forward to that. Sad at the passing of former and current Lions, June Strobus, Shirley Wixon, and George Schwartz. Most of you know that George is number one. I don't remember how long ago, but when I was doing the program the other day, I think he had joined before I was born. So he's been a member a long time in this club. He's going to be missed. Side note, when we were out working on the Lions Island on Saturday, I was reminded of a story about Andy Wixon, who was Shirley's son. He was a member for a long time, and he received the Lake Sacagawea Diving Award because he ended up in the lake doing Christmas lights one time. So. And finally, very happy to see our past district governor. Whatever the heck Jim does, I'm not sure, but I'm glad to see you back healthy and have long enough of living.
All right. It's hard for me to overlook these things.
Oh!
I'll let that go by.
Thank you, Steve.
President Lyon, Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests. Yeah, just a happy dollar once again. Glad to see Jim back. Tired of driving him places, so he can drive now, so that's great. And the other one is George Schwartz, who I think most people don't remember in this club because he hasn't been there for quite a while, of course. But he was a good Lion. He was. Thanks.
Lion Rick?
King Lion Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests. Had a good time Saturday helping put the lights out. Excuse me. Is that better? And the Huskies won.
Well, the biggest disappointment about the Huskies was the story that came out this morning about them losing their library to a fire this morning.
Burn both books.
Yeah, burnt both books.
That's funny. I don't care who you are, that's funny.
Luckily, the Cougars lent them the third one that they had. Okay, that's enough of that. Fine, Cindy.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, I have $5. One, I'm requesting a prayer for Keith and his family. I'm not at liberty to say what's going on, but he does need some prayers. Two, this is happy, I canned my sauerkraut on Sunday.
All right.
And I've got my guinea pig that's going to test it out tonight and tell me if it's good or not.
Gonna have an ambulance there?
Oh, anyways, so other than that, I'm just happy to be here and happy to be warm in my warm vest.
Sister Governor Jim, good to see you, Jim.
Think so. Oh. How's the weather down there? King Lion Lloyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, fellow Lions and guests. I have 10 happy sad dollars. Go with the sad first. I missed October. 29th of September, I went to the hospital. I'm not going to dwell on it because a lot of people in here have gone through far worse than I did. But it did cause me to lose the month, and that made me sad. 2 more sad dollars are for the Lions that we lost, and I remember them well. George, of course, was a big mucky muck. Fiber, yeah. And so he didn't do much in the club till he retired. Then he did quite a bit after he retired. One of our members, or past members, I don't know if he's still a member, got elected to county commissioner. That's good. A happy dollar, another sad dollar. I lost a very good friend. He's not a Lion, Dean Johnson, and I had coffee together for 35 or 40 years. I met him after I retired from the Army. We were opposing personalities. Everything he could do, he did great and well, and I was the opposite. He was a plumber by trade, and he owned apartments, and he and his wife, I've never known anybody to work so hard in my life. And it was funny because he'd come to coffee after working from 4 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the morning on an apartment. And he always wore khaki pants and deck shoes, and he looked like a fashion model. I can put on a $5,000 suit and I look like I've been dragged through the mud. Good friend, lost. The rest of it are happy dollars because right before I went into the hospital, I filled my car up with gas and I made about $20 staying in the hospital.
That's a fact. Let's go with past President John first, Teresa, and we'll get to you.
Sorry to beat you to the punch. President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, in my search for obscure past Lions, I've come up with Lion Vern Asmussen. And I mostly enjoyed Vern because he would purposely not sign in every time he came. so that his name would be announced during the senility period, which he maybe was or wasn't, I'm not sure. But you talk about a worker, that guy was at every project, and a great lion. One of the lions that I can remember are at Longview races when I was a kid in the races, so he was around a long time. Great man.
Bolo tie?
Next we have Lion Teresa.
Household fire chief.
President Floyd, fellow Lions and guests, happy Dad Bucks. My number one grandson, Richard, was age of 32, finally got engaged. That's the good news. The sad news is his fiancée lives in Australia. I don't know when I'll get to meet her.
Gotta worry about where the wedding's going.
P.Y. Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, $10 happy dollars, because such a joy to be come up to be a member of a club of so many wonderful people.
Yeah.
And Mike Parker too.
Whoa!
All right.
Boy.
Past council chair, Al.
Hey, President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, very old tail twister, very young tail twister. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I guess two of them are sad bucks, obviously, for Shirley. What I remember most about Shirley was her smile. I remember going to a Seahawks party over at the Elks, and there she was. And if you ever went to that party, she usually was there. George Schwartz, he's almost was a mentor in my life. He was a super guy. I was over at Fiber one day, and he saw me come in, and he says, Hal, I gotta come and show you. And he had this big, gigantic spreadsheet. But near as I can tell, he was trying to run Fiber on one Excel spreadsheet. And he was the only guy in the head shed at that point that even knew Excel. And that's a Microsoft program. I'm happy about for who's that? The Cougars? Did they have a good day? And didn't Shirley look good on TV? And Seahawks did.
If you receive the daily news, and or even if it's electronic, there was a nice picture there the other day about the downtowners, or whatever that group is, Katie, that you're a member of. But that was quite a picture. It was really a nice picture.
That means you owe $1, Katie.
Remember, she bought a house, so she's got. Well, thank you for donating, Katie, and it was a beautiful picture of you. You were just lovely. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. Enthusiastic, Lion Katie.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, I have $2 happy dollars. One, today is my boyfriend's birthday, so we get to celebrate him. A happy sad dollar. Today is the last day that I'll be able to throw my elk tag, so fingers crossed.
Over this way, we have Lion Michael Parker.
That's what it said.
That's what my mother told me.
Yeah, where?
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests. Yeah. In remembering George Schwartz, I worked at Fiber, and I would say I worked for McCormick, but I used that my job was to wake him up. On day shift, I used to see George every day when he'd come through the mill and go up to the meeting upstairs. And I stopped him one day and asked if I could talk to him, and he said, sure. And I said, I hear you know my dad. And he says, who's your dad? And I said, Sid Parker.
Oh, I've had many a drink with Sid Parker. He used to go to the assessors conventions. My dad was an assessor, and he knew my dad Wrench paid the assessor up here. And I told him at that time, I said, George, if I'd have known earlier that my dad knew you, I'd have probably worked at fiber longer.
Lion Cindy.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions, and guests.
Hey!
I had $2 happy. One, a week from today, I'm going home to see my mommy for Thanksgiving. That's what she wanted. So I get to see the family, and I haven't seen them in a while. So I'm really excited. That's in Fresno, California. And then my other $happy is my boss is down to work with me this afternoon. So boy, am I going to put him to work.
Got finally done, huh?
All right, pass on chair, Craig.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests. First dollar is for Shirley Wixon. She was one of the 3 craziest women that this club has ever seen. When she joined, she came in with Mamie and Marietta, and those 3 gals had more fun than you could ever imagine. Not just in the club. I used to see when I used to drink. Watch out. The other one is for passing of George Schwartz. George did work with us on projects before he retired. I can remember a car show over at the fairgrounds, and George and I were side by side in the chuck wagon. He was good.
Yep. Yeah, we all knew that Shirley was going to be a fun lion when she came to the orientation with a cocktail in one hand and a gallon of vodka in the other. What are they trying to tell me?
Wall.
Lion wall. You're it. You're the final.
No.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Fine wall. We probably should do a wrap up here anyway.
King Lion, fellow Lions and guests, just a few $happy here for the life of George Schwartz.
Our guest has a happy butt too. Our guest has a happy butt.
Let's honor our guest by allowing him to donate to the cause.
That's right.
Okay, Duane?
We'll make the budget any way we can.
Thank you, President, guests, and I have a sad dollar for Jamie Walsh, who passed away.
Oh, yeah.
And her funeral was last Friday, and it was a sad day for all of us. Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acting treasurer and past president and all-around good guy, Patrick.
They do deliver checks to Castle Rock. Amongst other things. President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests. Oh God, let's take a minute. Who here does not have a funny George Schwartz story? Yeah, you don't? Okay, good. Well, no, there was a time in which at the lake bank on July 3rd or 4th, probably the 4th in the midday, and George had snuck away from his family duties and came by and he sat down to have a hamburger that Greg Firth had made and that I had put into a bag, and Greg had put a plastic lid, a soda pop lid. And as soon as George bit through the hamburger and yelled out an expletive followed by Firth. They don't rhyme, but they start with the same letter. The whole place busted out laughing, and I just remember thinking to myself, that's the greatest joke ever. I love that joke.
That's one happy buck. Let's go to Shirley. Yeah, the crazy threesome. I lived in Rose Valley, as you might remember. Mariana lived in Rose Valley. Every once in a while, Shirley and Mamie would end up out in Rose Valley. So about 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a call from Marietta saying, "Can you drive these women home?" And I'm like, "Sure," because she lived down a rather steep driveway in Rose Valley. And so I get down to her house and I'm getting a bundle of these two in, and we get them in the car and I start coming back up out the driveway. And Mamie looks at me and she says, "You know, Yann's is still open." Second baby story that has to do with Shirley. Baby ended up in Beacon Hill in the front of the care center. So I went out to visit her one afternoon. She looks at me and she says, "Did you bring what I love?" And I said, "Yes, I'm here." And she said, "I'm talking whiskey, pal." Had a little pint together. And of course, her nurses immediately came and took it away. So there you go, there's a couple of happy bucks. The best happy buck I have to tell you about otherwise than that is, darn those Seahawks. Last time I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch football. To hell with that. That's going to be on the DVR, and that's the only way it's ever going to happen. My last happy buck is to say thank you to my wonderful friend Duane, who you're going to hear in just a few minutes.
Okay, Duane, President Lloyd, take it over.
All right. Okay.
Who's on first? Pat?
Long time no see, Pat.
I don't know if I have you slide just aside, because I don't know if you noticed this about my friend Duane. He's kind of a wide load. Duane Dalgleish, what do you say about a guy like this? 3 decades in the electrical supply parts business, and most recently in the last for a couple of years, especially most of downtown Longview's, all really Longview area, Cowlitz PUD commissioner. Duane came to my store. We've been friends. He came to my store. He asked me, "Can you help me get elected?" And I was like, "Sure. I can help you get elected. How do I do that?" I said, for those who didn't hear it, said, "Stay away from Hal." Nice one. Yeah. I said, "You know what, Duane, here's what you do. You tell the truth, and then you prove for a fact that you're smarter than the person you're running against." Well, if you went to any of the debates, you understood that Duane was exceedingly intelligent, not just in the electrical area, but truly in how it is that societies work. And he and his lovely wife and I and my lady, we've spent wonderful times together just making sure that we understood why it is that societies move in the way they do. In his particular role, and what he'll talk about here today, is talk to us about power generation, delivery, and keeping your rates low. And I'd like you to welcome my good friend, Duane Dalgleish. You want to sit up there, or do you want to sit there?
Oh, I just sit right here.
You can sit right there? Okay, Lloyd. So never mind, you don't have to move.
Okay. Thank you, Pat. That was great. And he's not kidding. You know, if you've never run for public office, it's a tough thing to do because you're putting yourself out there. I've been in the electrical trade for almost 40 years then, and so I know electricity. And years back, the PUD was having problems, and so they went out and they got what they call an ERAC committee, which is 15 business people, and they put this group together, and they asked me to get on it, so I did. And what we were doing was going through everything that the PUD was doing so that we could maybe help them get back into the black. We were very, very much struggling at the time. And so I did that for 6 years,
And I was the president of that group. And a lot of people had come up and said, hey, Duane, it's your turn, you need to run. And I really never gave it much thought, because I really liked being on the rate committee and doing my electrical stuff. And it was a tough decision to make, because you do put yourself out there. And I just got to thinking about it. This is what I do for a living, and I do know transmission, and I know power, and I know that the people of Cowlitz County, this great county, we need people in those offices that understand what's happening, the directions that we need to go, and make them positive. It was so long that we weren't positive there, and one of my goals was we're going to be transparent and positive. We're going to let the people know who we are and what we're going and the directions we're going. And I've achieved that goal, I believe. You don't see a lot of negativity from the PUD anymore. One thing that I'm very proud of, and Pat brought it up earlier, is this is not an easy thing. We just came through COVID. We just came through a lot of bad things happening to us. But your PUD bill, guess what? Stayed the same. We have no rate raises for 5 years. And if I can say, I believe next year there'll be no rate raises also. It's looking pretty good. So those are really good, tough goals that I set for myself when I got into the PUD. And I've achieved those goals, and I'm very proud of that. One goal that I talked about was the landfill that the county owns. I wanted to figure out a way that we could tap into the methane gas and sell it out on the line for power, or to use it as power for like Tudor Lake or Castle Rock or somewhere in that area. And it just wasn't penciling out. We did it for 2 or 3 years. We did it at the very first year of this year. We went in and looked at it again. It just wasn't penciling out, because we don't want to do something that's not going to be positive for the PUD and for you. You own the PUD. We want to do this correctly. And here a few months ago, we looked into it again, and they're buying different types of, believe this, garbage that is actually good for what we're trying to accomplish. So we're looking into it again. We could possibly get something going by the first of next year to tap into that. The reason why we're looking into that is we are 95% green. And what that means is the governor has put forth by 2035, all utilities have to be 100% green. Well, we are 95% there. So we are so close, and whatever we do next, we can do that. We can buy power off the line, but it has to be green power to meet it. What's really sad is earlier this year, the governor came out and said, well, we're going to take 2 of the dams off of the Columbia and 2 off of the Lower Snake. We're talking about hydropower, folks. This is the cheapest, cleanest power you can make. And to do that was just not a good thing. So thank you, all of you out there that helped get the governor going in a different direction, because yes, they have changed their mind. They're not going to do it. One thing I didn't address when I first started talking today is we at Cowlitz County PUD want you Lions members to understand how much we appreciate you. You guys are an incredible group. Incredible group. What you just some of the things that you've done. You feed the people, the volunteers at the lake. You've provided kettle corn for the employees at the recognition days. And one thing that you really helped with, and this is a big thing for the PUD, all of the volunteers that went to help for the Neighbors Fund, Neighbors in Need, for our Eat for Heat. That Eat for Heat that we do brings in almost $10,000 for that fund. That's a lot. And you guys were there peeling corn, getting it ready. It's just amazing what you guys do, and I'm just happy that you invited me here to talk. Again, you get me talking on the PUD thing, and I can talk forever, so I don't know how much time I have.
About 10 minutes.
So what I'd kind of like to do is, how many people out there know about our rebate program? So the rebate program is it's an interesting program, and if you have electric heat, it all revolves around electric heat. If you have wooden windows or old windows, or your doors are old, you have no insulation, you can definitely get money back from the PUD. It's there. Please use it. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. We advertise this all the time, but we just don't get enough people involved with the rebate program, and that'll save tons of your bill. How many people out here have an old hot water pump, hot water tank? How many people? Can anybody tell me what the percentages of an old hot water tank takes out of your bill?
50.
A third.
A third.
A third of your bill. So the PUD has a rebate for new and improved hot water tanks that will knock that bill down. So you have a question.
Oh, I do.
Take a drink.
I need a drink. You got any whiskey?
I work at a plumbing store, and you guys are advertising the heck out of those heat pump water heaters.
Yes.
Okay? My manufacturer's against them, my sales reps are against them, we're against them. So let me ask you this. Say somebody's water heater is in a utility building where there's not enough fresh air intake to operate the heat pump. It has to operate just like a heat pump, correct? We have to have enough fresh air intake?
You have to have air
Okay,
intake.
well, I'm getting so many calls about people doing this. Not only that, is that there's no immediate light. If something with the heat pump part of the water heater goes out, that's HVAC. If the water heater part goes out, that's plumbers. Okay, they don't cross over, and there's no immediate light.
And that's on the tanks that we're selling?
Before COVID, we went to those trade shows every 2 years that my suppliers put on, and I talked to the manufacturers from the school letters, the people from the manufacturing company there, as well as the sales reps that represent them. They talked to the people from Bradford Light, which is who we sell. They wasn't told me, so then I went over to the route, and they lied. They said, oh yeah, there's an immediate light, there's this, there's that, you don't have to have enough fresh air intake. That's 2 sour apples right there. And now I found out today, this is a Longview water heater line, this is why I was so anxious to talk to you. Is now,
Ouch.
Now, according to my salesman, the federal government, I believe it's federal government, is wanting a tracking device installed on the top of new water heaters that are sold after the first year, so they can see when you're using your water heater and how much energy you're using, why.
Wow.
That's a good question. They probably want to understand your high usage and your low usage of the day.
Don't they already know it when you say 33% goes to?
Or the
Not really, because you understand that you have, during the day, you have highs and lows of your energy. So like when you're doing laundry, you want to do that late at night, early in the morning, because that is the low peak of the energy. When you do it during the day, you're taking out high peaks of your energy. That's probably part of what that is.
Okay, I'll repeat this now that I have a microphone for the people that didn't hear my question. After the first of the year, our federal government wants a tracking device on all new water heaters installed so they can see when you're using the power for your water heater, which I think is just too intrusive.
I do too, and I wasn't aware of that, I'm sorry.
No, I just found out this morning.
So, what I do want you to do though is I want you to call Daniel at the PUD and ask him those direct questions, because he would be more apt to doing that. He is our rebate person.
Okay, I'll get with you after the meeting and get the name in writing, that way I don't
Please,
forget. So
yeah,
thank you.
because that's a good thing, and along that lines also is you don't necessarily need to buy a new hot water tank, but what you should do is put a timer on it. You should not be running your hot water tank 24/7. You know, you only need it 8 to 10 hours a day. So figure out what your peak usage is during the day and shut it off the rest of the time.
How does this compare with an on-demand system?
So the on-demand systems are, some people really like them, and some people really don't like them. So I think the on-demand system would work really, really well, because you're not using any power until you turn that on. So I do like the on-demand. I don't have one. I have a timer on mine.
I've got a couple real quick questions. First one, is gas-fired power, is that green power?
Yes, we're looking into that.
Well, the reason I asked, out there at the, across from Weyerhaeuser, they've got gas-fired.
Yes.
That is green.
Yes.
The other thing, getting back to
So Divert, the new company that's coming to town, they're going to, all of their excess that they make is the gas, they're tapping into Cascade Natural Gas with it.
The other is, getting back to water heaters. I was able to take part in one of the PUD programs. They got that new Rheem
Yes.
hot water heater. I understand there's no metal parts in it whatsoever. It is guaranteed for life. And ever since we got it in, there has been a noticeable drop in energy costs, and the water's always hot. Good deal.
Well, thank you for that. I think they're averaging around 14 or 1,800, somewhere in there.
How much
But then you get a rebate off of that.
Well, that didn't cost us anything.
Okay.
That was that first program we came out with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Duane, can you speak to the LED light replacement, especially for buildings such as this, where we take out the fluorescent tubes? Is that program still going? I can tell you 2 years ago, we did that in my building. And for printers, that light balance is very critical so that we know the right color is there. But boy, I gotta tell you, the color of green is what I see, because it saves me $40 a month in direct electric cost. Okay? I mean, straight money.
So LEDs, that's a very good conversation. I've always been an advocate of LEDs, and when they first came out, they weren't so good. You could get grays and pinks and greens, and it was all it was a mixture. And it took them about 7 or 8 years to really understand the process. But in today's society, they have fixed that process, and LEDs are the only way to go. We have a tremendous program at the PUD for rebates on LEDs. We just did a $158,000 rebate to Weyerhaeuser last month on LEDs. So yes, we love it when commercial buildings come to us and say, we'd like to take out our fluorescents and put in LEDs. You're probably going to get $2.40 per lamp on a rebate, and most lamps that you buy will be around $6.89 a piece. So that's a pretty good size rebate. especially if you're doing it yourself. And what I really like about, when you look at these 2x4 fixtures that you have above you, most of them are 4 lamp and 3 lamp fixtures. When you go to LED, you can drop it down to 2 lamp, and you can pick the color you want. All the lamps that come out now are 27K, 3000K, 4000K, or 5000K. And what that means is your color rendition. So if you look at a 2700K, that would be like looking at an incandescent lamp.
Warm yellow.
It's real warm. So most of your inside offices are 4K, which gives you a real nice tone. But what I really like about it is you can hear a ballast humming. With the new LEDs, you take the ballast out. It's a straight across 120 or 277 volt, whatever you have in your office. So you're really doing yourself a big favor by rebates. And if you need to do some rebates in here, I'm here to help you on both aspects. But yes, if you have anybody that has commercial, industrial buildings and they need help with LEDs, please get a hold of me.
I've got a daughter who lives in Kelso, and you have a program where you take out a certain amount of every customer, more for business, less for non-commercial, and her cost for that add-on is greater than her PUD bill.
The basic
So
charge.
I don't think it's
Oh,
not
the
a fair
basic charge? You're talking about the basic charge?
Right.
So remember now, that basic charge goes way, way back to when we were in the red.
Well,
And we,
a long time ago.
I realize that, sir, but without doing that, we were in bad shape, and we had to do something. I've been looking into it the last couple of years to see what we can do with the base rate to bring it down. But
Well, make it more equitable.
when you look at the base rate and what we're not raising your rates, you know, we have to there's a fine line there. And so you're right, we do have to, there is something that we can come up with.
Well, you penalize a small user
Yes.
very much.
Yeah, I agree with you, sir.
Better than half her bill goes for this surcharge.
For the surcharge,
Just buy
yeah.
1 kilowatt.
Well, and again, I brought this up, and we're trying to pencil something out for that. Things are in the works that I can't really to talk about yet because we don't really know where we're headed with it. But yes, that has been brought up several times.
Okay, well, it's like $78 million a year for the PUD, isn't it?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Some nice charge, and that goes back to what? Telephone poles?
Those aren't cheap. And Kalama just went through 6 of them last month. So,
Well, that's the kind of surcharge you don't see at the gas pump or anything else. Gas is bad enough, but they don't add on a 6 cent Chevron.
right, yeah, but if you look at your municipal bills too, they have that also, so.
Anybody else?
Duane, I'm still very, very happy with you guys to tell your rates. In this day and age where the city's poking you, the county's poking you, everybody's getting just a little bit more. Well, fixed income people, when they look at that, it can be a killer. And I appreciate it that the PUD has held the line during this time.
Thank you, John, I appreciate that. You know, I didn't talk about this, and I will talk about it with you, sir, as we have programs at the PUD. If you're struggling with your bills, please call us. We have so many new programs out there that will help. We can help your daughter. Give us a call. Have her come in and sit with Heather and the girls. Yes, because we've got some tremendous programs. We were talking earlier about the federal government, interfering with things. And if you get online and you look at your bill, you can actually go into on-time demand. You'll know exactly. We have a new system now that you tap into that, and it'll tell you exactly when you were using your peak energy and when you were using your low energy. You'll know exactly what you were doing at that time, so you can say, instead of doing laundry at this time of day, maybe I should do it at this time of day. So we have some really good programs if you like to get online and look, especially for outages or what's going on with the PUD. If you haven't been on our website yet, you really need to get on it and go through it, because it really is a fantastic website. But anytime you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out, call me, talk to me. I'm always available. I'm here for you. So let me know.
Thank you, Duane.
Okay, announcements, Craig.
President Lloyd, no lines, gas.
Yes.
Walk and Knock is coming up. Big food drive, last 2 years because of COVID, we had a drive and drop. This year we're going back to walk and knock. See how it would come out. We aren't really sure. The last 2 years we drive and drop didn't work for its food. So we're going back to where we were. I've got a sign up sheet over here. Please write your name on it and put your cell number with it also. Thank you much.
Sharon.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we have adopted a family through the Salvation Army. I was hoping to have the Christmas list by today, but I have not heard from her yet. So just keep in mind that hopefully by next Tuesday, I will have a list for everybody to sign up if they would like to help this family get them some gifts.
President Lloyd, fellow lines and guests, just a quick add-on to what Greg said. Because we're in person again, what our biggest need is going to be for walkers. So if you have young family members, a lot of us are a bit older than we were a few years ago. It's getting a little harder to go door to door, but it works best when you walk and knock. We're not going to be like the clubs that just go by and pick up bags. We need to actually go out and walk and knock our routes. So if you have any young people that are around that might help, please sign them up too.
Rex. President Lloyd, fellow lines and guests, tomorrow morning at 7:30 we'll be down at Lions Island working with the city to start putting lights up, and we'll follow up Saturday morning at 9 o'clock to finish everything up down there at the island.
Right on.
Katie, up here in front.
Twice today.
President Lloyd, fellow Lions and guests, I have the Jumbo's Toy Run sign up. There is also the sign up genius going around. We need a ton of help for that. So if you guys can sign up, I've got it here, and some little reminders too for you guys to take home. I am also calling a Spirits of Longview meeting right after this meeting.
President Lloyd, I just got a text from past District Governor Kathy Crawford. Great prosthetic appointment. They are thrilled with my strength and flexibility. I've been working hard on both. Several more appointments, and I should have a prosthetic sometime in January.
Yay!
Yeah, she's excited about that.
I know you were just saying that.
What do you get? And a diamond.
And a diamond. No winner yet.
No winner.
I guess that's it.